The greatest attachment in the material world is due to sexual pleasure, described in the Srimad Bhagavatam as a tight knot binding one to this material world. Sexual activity that ignores religious principles increases one's desire to stay in the material world and decreases one's spiritual intelligence. Therefore, in Vedic society, sex was limited to marriage and it was procreation only. Vedic society teaches regulated sense gratification by appropriately classifying the life into 4 spiritual stages called Ashramas. Without regulation, there is no difference between a human being and an animal. The Brahmacari Ashrama is student life, the first quarter of a man's life. Education in Vedic society did not consist of mere accumulation of data, facts, figures, equations, dates, formulas, and so on. Vedic education was intrinsically spiritual. It taught the student practical knowledge about using the material in conjunction with the laws of God in order to live happily in this world and to attain the goal of life, pure God consciousness. This does not mean, however, that people in the Vedic ages had inferior material knowledge. Unlike our modern society with its inductive attempts to gain knowledge, Vedic society derived highly developed knowledge from a perfect source, the Vedic scriptures, which emanate from the Supreme Lord Himself. In this ancient literature, we find descriptions of things modern man prides himself on having invented only recently: nuclear technology, airplanes, Vimana Shastra, space travel, to name a few. In Vedic society, boys from the age of 5 would receive their education from a spiritual master, a guru. One has to study the Vedas under the guidance of the spiritual master and undergo many austerities and penances while living under his care. He should strictly observe celibacy and sense control and serve him with humility and dedication. A brahmachari has to live in the home of the spiritual master just like a servant, and he must beg alms from door to door and bring them to the spiritual master. He takes food only under the master's order, and if the master neglects to call the student for food that day, the student fasts. They were trained from the very beginning to address every woman as mother. These are some of the Vedic principles for observing Brahmacharya. After the student studies the Vedas under the master for a period from 5 to 25 years, he may become a man of perfect character. Study of the Vedas is not meant for the recreation of armchair speculators, but for the formation of character. After this training, the brahmachari is allowed to enter into household life and marry.